All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into the world of an 8th century Zen master who was, well, a little different. This is a guy who'd tell a hunter to shoot himself and then contradict his own teachings just to see what would happen. His name was Mazu, and his methods weren't about gentle guidance. They were designed to completely shatter a student's reality.
So, to really get a handle on Mazu, you've got to start with one of his most baffling encounters. The story kicks off with a hunter, way out in the woods, laser-focused on chasing a deer. But his chase leads him somewhere totally unexpected, right to Mazu's little hideaway.
Okay, so this hunter, his name is Xitang Zhizang, and all he can think about is the deer he's tracking. But in just a few moments, Master Mazu is about to give him a brand new target, one he never saw coming.
So Xitang, totally in the zone, asks the master a simple question. Just hoping for a tip. But Mazu? He couldn't care less about the deer outside. He's way more interested in the guy standing right in front of him.
And just like that, Mazu completely sidesteps the question. Instead of helping, he flips it around and starts questioning the hunter skill. He's poking, he's prodding, he's setting a totally different kind of trap.
The hunter answers with pride. You can just hear it in his voice, right? One arrow, one deer. He's a pro. He sees the world in clear targets, clear results. Simple.
And here it is, the classic Mazu twist. He just dismisses the hunter's skill with this absolutely shocking boast. I mean, how could anyone take down a whole herd with one arrow? It's obvious Mazu isn't talking about hunting animals anymore.
This is the moment. Mazu tells him to turn the arrow around. He's showing him that the real target isn't some animal running through the woods. The real target is the hunter himself, the source of all that chasing, all that desire, all that confusion.
And the hunter is just floored. His skill, his pride, his whole identity is completely useless against a question like this. He admits he has no idea what to do. And in that moment, when he's totally vulnerable, the real teaching can finally sink in.
And bam, it clicks. He gets it. The arrow Mazu was talking about wasn't made of wood. It was a single, piercing insight. The herd he could take down wasn't deer. It was the whole mess of his own thoughts and impulses. The real hunt was always inside.
So just like that, Xigong's entire life flips upside down. He literally breaks his bow and arrow, trades them for a monk's robes, and his new prey becomes the nature of his own mind. His life's work now is to hunt himself.
But Mazu wasn't always speaking in riddles about hunting. Sometimes his teaching was so direct, it was almost shocking, which another student, a monk named Dame Fachang, was about to find out.
So Damai comes to Mazu with the biggest question of all. He's not just asking about some historical figure. He's asking about the nature of reality, about enlightenment itself. This is the heart of the entire spiritual path.
And Mazu's answer? It's stunning. So simple it's almost jarring. Just 4 words. No long, complicated philosophy, no quoting ancient texts. He just points Dame right back to the one thing he already possesses, his own mind.
For Dame, who was just ready to hear it, his mind was like dry tinder waiting for a spark, and those 4 words were all it took. This is actually considered one of the fastest awakenings in Zen history. The answer wasn't out there somewhere. It was right here, all along.
But here's the thing. Was it real? I mean, a quick aha moment can fade, right? So years later, after Dami had gone off to live alone on a mountain to really let his realization sink in, Mazu decided it was time for the ultimate test.
This is just a brilliant move. See, Mazu needed to know, was Dame just clinging to a phrase he'd memorized, or had he truly lived the teaching and made it his own, unshakable reality?
So the messenger finds Dame and drops this bomb on him. Hey, you know that thing Mazu told you? This very mind is Buddha? Yeah? Well, he doesn't teach that anymore. Now he says, no mind, no Buddha. This was designed to pull the rug right out from under him.
But Damai doesn't even blink. His response is pure, unshakable confidence. He's not leaning on his master's authority anymore. His understanding is his own, born from his own direct experience, and he trusts it completely.
The monk goes all the way back and tells Mazu what Daime said, this confident, almost defiant response. And Mazu doesn't get mad. He's thrilled. This is exactly what he was hoping to hear. His student had passed the test. And that's when he says it. The plum is ripe. It's perfect, right? Dami was no longer a green fruit, depending on the tree.
He was fully mature, ripe with his own genuine understanding. His awakening was real. It was complete.
Okay, so hunters, plums, crazy Zen masters. What does any of this mean for us right now? These aren't just quirky old stories. They're incredibly practical pointers about how our own awareness works.
When you boil it all down, Mazu's core lessons are pretty clear. First, like he showed the hunter, the real adventure isn't out there, it's in here. It's about turning your attention inward. Second, enlightenment isn't some far-off, complicated goal you have to strive for. It's about recognizing the nature of your own mind right now. And finally, as Daoyi proved, real wisdom isn't about memorizing someone else's words. It's about an understanding that becomes so deep it's absolutely unshakable.
At the end of the day, all of Mazu's strange, wonderful, and sometimes shocking methods had one single goal: to break his students' old habits of thinking and force them to look, really look, at their own minds without any filter.
And that, of course, brings the whole thing right back to us. Mazu saw that Dame's understanding was complete, that his plum was ripe. These stories are like mirrors. They're suggesting that this same potential for deep understanding exists in all of us, which leaves us with one very potent question to think about. What about your plum?